Hello friends, so welcome back to my channel Mukesh English, and this is Mukesh Soni. Let's have the discussion of a very important question paper. This is first semester additional English question paper under Bangalore City University under BCU according to the NEP syllabus. So here we shall have the discussion of the model question paper of the first semester additional English for all the courses BCom, BBA, BSc, BSc, BCA or BA or any other course. So for all the courses, additional English has the same syllabus. Before that, let's understand the structure of this question paper. So the 40 marks questions will appear from the paragraph writing, precis writing, event reporting, expansion of proverbs. So paragraph writing has a weightage for 10 marks. So here you don't have any choice. Two questions compulsory you need to attempt. Precis writing, again, you have no choice here. Event reporting, there is also again no choice. Expansions of proverb, no choice. So all the 40 marks you have no choice. All the 40 marks questions are compulsory questions. So this is going to test your writing skill. Then we have few lessons. We call it as a coursebook lessons. That here refers to 20 marks. So you have about 6 lessons in your syllabus, and the lessons are the Rug, uh, story by Goswami. Then the unpalatable offering, story by Vasudhendra. Then the letter Tumiketu, the taxi driver Duggal, and we have another here Kasurina Tree, a poem by Toru Dutt, and Moonrise, again another poem by Savitri Rajivan. So how will the question papers appear for the course book? 20 marks, 5 marks, 2 questions with choice, 10 marks, 1 questions with choice, 1 question with choice. You need to attempt. So that's a question paper pattern. Now, I would like to say one thing here. I have tried to give you only the sample answer. Again, your answers are not limited, or as well as my answers also not limited. This is just a model question paper and the sample answers. So for more uh, in-depth reading or for more detail, I would suggest you to go through the textbook prescribed by the university. Now, moving to the section 1, section A, 40 marks questions from the language component. The very first question you have here, you need to write a paragraph on these two topics. Each topic or each paragraph will have the weightage for 5 marks, so 5 into 2, 10 marks. So the topics will be given and you need to draft the paragraph. And when you're drafting the paragraph, keep in the mind you need to write the title, already the given title, just copy it and draft the paragraph in such a manner that there's a coherence, there's a connectivity with all the sentences, and preferably there's no grammatical error. So I'm not going to read the answer here. You can pause the video and you can go through the answer. Then the second paragraph we have here, online versus offline. So like this, you'll be having some sort of comparative or the argumentative or the informative paragraph. So two questions, paragraph writing. Then you have another question here, precis writing for 10 marks. So one passage will be given here. You can count the numbers of you can count the words limit or the words numbers, and you need to write the precis in the 1/3. For example, if there are 100 words, you need to write precis in the 30 words or 35 words. So I have tried like this. So you can also try at your own level. So precis writing for 10 marks. Then you have another question, event report writing. So generally when you conduct any event in your college, so your college authority or the teacher coordinator, they might ask you to submit a 1 paragraph report, and that report could be published in the college newsletter or maybe the college website. So there's a question here, a book fair and a few cultural competitions were organized by the cultural committee of a college. You are the cultural committee coordinator. Write a report in 100 to 200 words for the college magazine. So that's for 10 marks. Remember, it is just a paragraph because the limit is given here 150 to 200 words. It has not been told to write the one essay type questions. No, it's just a 1 paragraph or max to max 1 page. So when you're drafting this kind of report, keep in the mind that it should be very simple. It should have very good opening. It should give the description of all the events which you have conducted. So you can pause this video to read the answer right? And it ends like this. And again, there should be a good opening of the paragraph, and there should be a very effective closing of the paragraph. That's very important. So generally, when you are describing any paragraph or any event, we always use few important steps like the topic sentence, then the content, then the closing sentence, right? So this is the answer for the paragraph writing. The last question you have here, two proverbs will be given. Two proverbs will be given here, and you need to expand, you need to give the meaning with examples, and both are compulsory. The proverbs writing, the interpretation of the proverbs will be for 10 marks. So we have here, don't judge a book by its cover. So give the meaning with context. The proverb, don't judge a book by its cover, emphasizes the importance of not forming opinions or making assumptions about something or someone based solely on outward appearances. This applies to various aspects of life, from people to situations to objects, for example. So you can give very fitting example, suitable example. Then another proverb we have here, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So the proverb, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Okay, I'm sorry. The proverb beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder suggests that the perception of beauty is subjective and varies from person to person. What an individual finds beautiful or appealing may not necessarily be seen the same way by someone else. Beauty is not an inherent quality, but rather a perception shaped by personal experiences, preferences, and cultural influences. So, for example, you can give some examples also. So, like this, you'll be having those 40 marks questions without any choice. So, here, my answers again, I would say very limited answer, because it's your individual writing skill, individual command or English language. So write very briefly to the point, use the appropriate vocabulary, and avoid the grammatical mistakes or any kind of spelling error, because each question is for 10 marks. So maximum marks with the best answer you may get hardly 8. So generally English teachers won't give the 10 out of 10. I hope you know very well. Okay, I'm sorry, I got a cold. And yeah, next we are moving to the course book. In the course book, we have 6 lessons here, and here you have the pattern for. Okay, I'm feeling sleepy. It's 1 a.m., not daytime. It's 1 a.m. morning, early morning, 1 a.m. So course book, 6 lessons you have here, and 20 marks questions. You have about 5 marks questions, then 5 marks questions. Then you have here 10 marks questions. So find it to 10 and 10 into 1, 10. So let's go through. I have tried to give the answers in such a manner where it can also can cover the summary of the lesson also. I have tried my best. Explain how Gajal saves the elephant in the story Rug. Gajal saw a trunk on the ground. The elephant seemed to wave it as if calling him nearer. He walked a few paces towards it. The elephant was in pain. The giant animal had fallen into the deep hole that lay hidden under the thicket and could not get out. Gajal stopped and stretched out his hand to touch the trunk. The elephant seemed to have been waiting for just such a gesture. It moved its trunk from side to side. Gajal felt bolder. He went closer. The elephant was calm and docile. Gajal saw the tusk. He had not seen any domesticated elephants with tusk such as this. He walked around the hole, examining it carefully. The elephant would never be able to come out of the hole on its own. It was narrow and deep. The animal filled it completely, and unless helped, it would have to die there. Impulsively, Gajal turned to run to the village for help. He would ask some of his friends to come help the elephant out of the hole and back into the forest. But he stopped again. He thought, would it be wise to inform the villagers about the elephant? Would they believe him? Would they help a killer rug? Would they not rather collect whatever weapons they could lay their hands on and rush here to massacre the animal in turn? And talk of helping a rug would be construed as the babbling of an idiot, because it was considered that this elephant creates a lot of damage. Gajal looked at the large animal in distress, see the elephant. His returning to the village would mean the death of the elephant. If he goes to the village, definitely elephant will be killed. He went back and inspected the elephant once more. The elephant raised its trunk to touch Gajal as if imploring for help. Gajal gently touched the rug's trunk and said, "Wait, I'll do something." The elephant raised its trunk as if in acknowledgement. Gajal cut through the thicket to one side of the hole to reach his coal pit. He had left some branches to dry there. They had been too soft for coal, but he had thought that they would serve for firewood. Now he chose a few straight and sturdy pieces out of them. Squatting, he sharpened the ends to make a hoe of each and returned to the hole. He sank the crude hoe at one end and started digging. A sloping path would have to be cut to make a way out for the elephant. The elephant was apparently puzzled at the young man's alone of efforts, but it could somehow understand that he was doing something for the benefit of elephant only. So this is how Ghazal tried to save the elephant. So as he worked briskly, Ghazal started talking with the elephant and he said, "But how could you have fallen into such a hole? Have you lost your senses? You are a creature of the forest, and yet the pointed stick got blunt soon. Gajal sharpened the end again, shortening it to the process. A sloping path was yet to take shape. Gazal did not know how long it would take. It was getting dark. The elephant raised its trunk and rested on Gazal's hand. A satisfactory ramp was emerging. Gazal threw away the small stick and took another, and he was sweating all over now. Question number two. So, why did the clerks and the postmen consider Ali as a madman in the letter story? In the story, the letter. What impression do you form about Ali after reading the story? So here I have tried one shortcut here. I have tried to give you the story here, the whole story, so that you can easily cook up your answer also. The letter is an emotional story of an old man, Ali. He's all alone and waiting for a letter from his daughter, Miriam, but unfortunately, he got that letter only at his grave. Ali was a brilliant hunter who derived pleasure from the scared faces of the young ones of the dying birds. His daughter got married to a soldier in a regiment in Punjab, so she had to shift from there. Ali had to live all alone. Now he realized the meaning of love and separation, and he could no longer enjoy the hunting. Since then, he was in habit of visiting the post office in the early morning. He was hoping for a letter from his daughter Mariam. The postman and the postmaster and the other staff made a fun of him. Suddenly, for many days, Ali did not come to the post office. Everyone wanted to know the reason behind this. One day, when Ali came back, he tried to talk to the postmaster, who was in a hurry to leave. He behaved very rudely to him. Therefore, Ali met a clerk outside the post office and gave him 5 gold coins. He requested him to deliver his letter whenever it would come to his grave. After that incident, no one ever saw Ali again. One day, the postmaster's daughter fell ill. He searched for the letter from his daughter in the heap of letters. Suddenly, he picked up a letter addressed to coachman Ali. Now he understood his mistake. He asked Lakshmi Das, a clerk, to find out Ali. He decided that he would hand over Ali's letter himself. The next morning, he opened the door of the post office and saw Ali inclined on a stick with tears in his eyes, but suddenly he disappeared. Lakshmi Das, the clerk, was surprised to hear the postmaster call out the name of Coachman Ali, who had no more for the previous 3 months. The letter was lying on the door. Lakshmi Das describes him about his last meeting with Ali to convince him. That evening, both of them the letter on visited to place the letter on Ali's graveyard or Ali's grave. The postmaster regretted his attitude towards Ali, and he was no longer ill-tempered. So that was the story. Third one is here. Write a short note on the mythological reference in the poem Moonrise and what's the significance of these references. The poem titled Moonrise is composed by Savitri Rajivan, a noted Malayalam poet and fiction writer. The poem Moonrise is set in the backdrop of a very significant event in mankind's history, men's landing on the moon. The gigantic step by Neil Armstrong and the Buzz Aldrin is contrasted with the simplicity of a grandmother praying to the moon god to keep her family safe in the strong belief that as long as the moon is invincible and continues to glow in the sky, her prayers will always be answered. The conquest of the moon is sharply pitted against the unconquerable faith of the grandmother that can we decolonize the moon, erase the footprints of Armstrong, and reclaim its terrain and its power to enchant. To eternally glow in the sky, blemishless but can't be, the poem ends on a note of doubt, allowing the readers to come up with their own interpretation of the classic battle between tradition and the modern thought. But the last line of the poem leaves the readers grappling with a question that is based on the eternal conflict between science and faith and man and nature. A question that the poet wants to debate on a question that may not even have an answer that is eternal. Moon god, a knave Vamana foot raised on all, two large figures shining in the moonlight like the Asuras fighting the Devas. The above lines references on mythological aspects of the poem. That Vamna is the fifth avatar of Hindu god Vishnu, who becomes a dwarf in order to restore cosmic balance by defeating the Asura king Mahabali, who had acquired disproportionate power over the universe. By taking three gigantic steps, the benevolent god Vishnu reclaims the universe from the king. Now we are going to discuss here the 10 marks questions. Here only one question you need to answer. Comment on the socio-cultural practices depicted in the short story, The Unpalatable Offering. The Unpalatable Offering is one of the translated short stories exploring sexuality, urbanization, and the class from Kannada writer Vasudendra's Mohan Swami. The present story brings out the perplexity of the corporate world in a metropolitan city. The protagonist of the story struggles with his loneliness, which is a part of his unrevealed sexual identity. He prays for the unmistaken companionship which would help him thrive in this world, where he longs for a sustainable relationship, though he is financially sound. The other requirements to lead a happy and stable life seem missing in his life. His decision of buying a flat within 30 minutes without any specifications bemuses, beamuses the readers. Second question, I just given the limelight. Second question, the story the taxi driver reflects a dilemma between principles and practicability. Elaborate. The story The Taxi Driver depicts the dilemma between principles and the practicability. The protagonist of the story is a taxi driver named Dittu. His real name was Hardit Singh, and he was born into a well-to-do family in Pakistan. It was after partition that he came to India. His whole life changed after he came to India. He became a taxi driver. One day he found a wallet. lying on the back seat of the car. It belonged to some passengers. Rather than feeling happy about it, he felt uneasy. He had no idea what to do with it. As it was already late in the evening, he believed that money found like this was always suspect. He felt that rich people were so careless with their belongings. He was sure that if they had not been rich, they would have been more careful. Once a passenger left an attaché case in his car. After that incident, he always asked the passengers about the whereabouts. That way, if something was forgotten, he could return it. He is a person who believes that he has nothing to do with the money that does not belong to him. He thinks that his wife contracted leukoderma because she wore someone else's clothes. Thus, he always made sure that he would take someone else's belongings. While he was in Pakistan, an unforgettable incident happened in his life. One evening, as he was passing through the bazaar on his bicycle, he saw a parcel lying in the middle of the road. He got down and picked it up. It was a heavy package. Ditto was curious to know what was inside. He made sure that no one was watching him and he left the place with the parcel. He stopped in a very isolated corner, started to open the parcel. The parcel was made up of so many layers of packing papers and nothing else. He understood that it was done by the shopkeeper to test the honesty of the citizens. He felt ashamed and hesitated to go back to the market. He never had to return because partition occurred soon after. Partition means India Pakistan. He never forgot about this incident and became very careful with money related issues. His wife, Banati, wanted to take the wallet and save it for the family. She justified her thoughts by saying that the person lost the money since it was not hard earned. She complained about the miserable state of the home. She wanted to support her family and take care of the children. She puts her family's needs over morality, but did too wanted to be honest about it. That night, he had a dream about an incident. He woke up and was perspiring profusely. He thought he was being tortured for keeping someone else's money. He noticed Banti sleeping in a bed with a wallet beside her. He tried to snatch it. Banti woke up and both of them started quarreling. Ditu lost his patience and hit her. He felt ashamed that he had hit her. By the end of the story, we can see Banti counting the currency notes and showing them to the son. When the son asked the reason for his father hitting her, she answered that it was normal for a husband to hit his wife. She normalized the abuse she received. So the story tells the dilemma the two faces between morality and practicality. On the other hand, Banti is sure that the money should be used for herself and her family. The writer doesn't say what is right and what is wrong, but leaves it to the readers to arrive at their own conclusion. The story portrays the life of a family that struggles to survive. Last question. They explain how Torodat relives her childhood in the poem Our Casurina, our Casurina, Casurina Tree. So, in the poem titled Casuarina Tree, Toru that celebrates the majesty of the casuarina tree that she used to see by her window in the garden and remembers her happy childhood days spent under it. She revives the memories with her beloved siblings. The memory of the tree is the only link she has been left with about a past, and the cheerfulness of that memory is what makes her relive her childhood. The casuarina tree here is symbolic. It was a tree under which the poetess and the siblings and the friends played in the childhood. Thus, it holds a special place in the poetess' heart. Even when all of them went their separate ways, the cassia tree stayed as it was. It became the symbol of the everlasting love for the siblings and friends. The cassia tree is here symbolic. It was a tree. The first stanza of our Cassandra tree begins with the image of a tree. The poet says that a creeper like a python is winding the tree. Its hold was too tight, so it had left a scar on the trunk. The poet further states that no other tree would have sustained this hold because it is too strong, but her tree, her cassia tree, did it. Like a giant, the tree has proudly worn those scars like a scarf, representing its strength. To further describe its beauty, the poet says it is filled with crimson flowers in every bough like a crown that invites birds and bees. Often at night, when the poet could not sleep, she used to listen to the music that filled her garden. The second stanza of the poem starts with a morning view, when every morning she opens a window and her eyes rest on the delighted tree. Sometimes during other seasons and mostly during winter seasons, she has been a baboon sitting on the top branch like a statue, waiting to receive the first ray of sunlight. Whereas his punny offspring plays around in the lower branch of the trees. Along with his scenic beauty, the poet also experienced Kokila's welcoming note. Nightingale. She has also observed the cows guided towards the pastures and the water lilies spring under the shadow of her whole tree like gathered snow. In the third stanza, the poet comments on why the tree will remain dear to her always. Besides the morning bliss, the tree remains her to the time she played with her siblings, and the tree, blended with the harmony of them, gives her the image of of the intense love they shared, leaving tears in the poetess' eyes. The poetess mourns for those departed souls. She also imagines that the tree shares a loss which she hears as dirge like a murmur, resembling the waves breaking on a pebble beach. So, in the fourth stanza, the poet presents in depth connection with the tree. Through the image of waves, she takes us to a foreign land which is known as where the waves gently kiss the classic shore. So whenever this music of the waves touching the waves rises, it arouses the memory of the tree in front of the poet's eyes as she has seen in her youth. The final stanza, where the speaker wants to erect something in the honor of Casuarina tree, for those who are beloved, who are resting in peace, love it. She wants a tree to live long, like those trees of Borrowdale, making reference to Wordsworth's yew tree. Also, she makes an attempt to distinguish the tree of England from the Casuarina tree, connecting to her varying emotion. The Casuarina tree stands for nostalgia, longing, and memory, whereas the trees of England reflect her isolation. So these are the three questions. Here you need to opt here one question, 10 marks. Okay, still we have few more notes. So the final lines of this poem, Casuarina tree, underscore the idea of a poem as a written memory. The poet seeks love to protect the tree and a poem from time's ravage. The poem A Cassina Tree is a reminder of Toruda's childhood and the happiness she experienced with her siblings and the friends, and the children is not alive now. So friends, this is how I have tried to solve the model question paper of first semester, all the courses, additional English under Bangalore City University. You can also check one more question papers link in the description box. Please check it. And now you'll be having here two question papers, and that's going to give you a lot of ideas that how the questions will appear. For more reference, for more in detail, please do reference to the textbook. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, click on the like button right in the comment box, and please do subscribe the channel for more videos in generic English. Also, I've done so many videos that also you can refer. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Dear friends, thank you so much for watching this video. You can reach me at mukeshenglish@gmail.com. Please do subscribe the channel, click on the like button for more videos on literature, workbook, pronunciation, grammar, communication skills, presentation skills, interview skills. Stay in tune with Mukesh English. Thank you once again.